Yo guys, what's good? As here once again with another Exos Heroes video. Today we're going to talk about all faded and legendary defenders and give our opinions about them. Let's get into it. As a quick note, this is intended to be for beginners of the game. I'm sure you veterans already know all of this. Let's get started with the faded category. Garf. He's in the top 3 regarding all defenders in the game. He has the unique passive Command, which increases your whole team's health and defense by 25%. Additionally, he grants the entire front row with 1 permanent mana. Both of those effects don't disperse on Garf's death. Due to him being the light element, he has constant access to his 2 mana S1 as long as your team is alive. The FC provides him with much needed HP to cover even high HP units like FC Anna. Without it, usually Garf only adds the command mark to your damage dealers. Additionally, he will gain Unbreakable Will, making him a fair bit tankier. Shufraken. Shufraken had his time before Dragonblood became the meta. Same as Garf, he provides the front row with mana. However, since Shufraken is the dark element, he won't be able to access his abilities right away. He has the unique passive Fear of the Abyss, which is in general great, but not against the Dragonblood meta. Unless the meta changes, he won't be part of any serious PvP compositions. His FC lets him gain enormous mana if allies are dead. His mana burn can also be very useful, especially since it's only a 1 mana ability. Since he will be in the front row, he can spam that for days. Shakan. He's dependent on this Hearten, only provided by Rachel. Due to his low attack stat, he doesn't deal as much damage as other heroes with similar multipliers. He can definitely be used in PvP due to his low mana cost. However, he will be much more useful in PvE. His FC will grant him more block and less crit chance, and paired with Rachel, the less crit won't affect him at all. Valar. Another hero that is dependent on an interaction, this time with Garf. Unlike Shakan, Valar's entire passive will be unusable if not paired with Garf. Nonetheless, Valar is a high multiplier and can pack a serious punch. The FC will grant him Unbreakable Will, making him a lot tankier. Ullum. Arguably the #1 defender. Highest defense in the game, high multipliers on both attacks. Even with low attack, Ullum packs a punch. When paired with Bathory, he gains the ability to break 3 random Guardian Stones while under Tranquil. The FC will also grant him Unbreakable Will. Because he has Provoke, this is the best use of this passive. Mahar. Well, we talked about #1. Now let's talk about somebody who doesn't even finish the race. Mahar has the 2nd highest defense in the game and also has the Provoke on his passive. However, due to his low multipliers and no other great interactions, he falls short in all regards. I guess Shufraken took more than his arm. The FC will also grant him with Unbreakable Will. Burnavus. Burnavus is a solid CC unit. I would directly compare him with Fierce, since he has the same kit, but swapped. He has Thrust, which I value high in PvE but disfavor in PvP. He is at a decent speed to always make sure to remove slower damage dealers from the fight. The FC will grant him Unbreakable Will. Additionally, when paired with Janai, he will apply Suppression. Since Suppression overlaps his stuns, I don't really see the use of it. Chati. Outside of Dragons, she doesn't have much use, but in Dragons she is phenomenal. She usually provides the back row with a barrier, but in Dragons it's all the same row. Everybody benefits from a barrier, which can help you getting through the different phases. Now let's move on to the legendary category. Dagus. If you expected #3 to be in the faded category, you're incorrect. Dagus claims this position with ease. Having the 3rd highest defense, Provoke, shared health, and an AoE freeze, he has everything a good tank needs. With his FC, he will be able to provide frost damage immunity, and his share health can trigger Frosty Bolts when allies are attacked. Unfortunately, his block 2 is not upgraded to block 3. Nungen. He is a solid bruiser on machine special dungeons, but outside of that, he isn't really that great. His damage multipliers are low, but he has a 1 mana stun ability. Paired with Thrust, he can definitely help you out disabling targets. The FC will grant him Unbreakable Will. Liechtenstein. His kit all screams that he wants to be late Dagus, but he falls short. His barrier affects only himself, and he has a 4 mana single target stun. Fairly weak compared to even other defenders in the light element. Tantalus. Here we have what Mahar should be. AoE taunts on passive and S1, along with a decent multiplier single target stun. This, plus being of the nature element, makes him a good tank, having easy access to all his abilities. The FC will grant him Heart Strike, which is a strong ability unique to the Banger family. As long as he gets enough turns, he can be a good way of dealing with Dragon Blood. Unlike his brethren, however, he doesn't have the ability to one-shot opponents. Firis. As mentioned before, she and Bernavas basically share a similar kit. The difference here is a 1 mana back row stun and a 3 mana single target stun. Because she is the light element, she will always be able to CC the back row as long as all allies are alive. Check out the video I made about her. Riesel. She is special because outside of the Banger FC, she is the only hero with blind in the game. While not particularly strong against multiple First Guardians, against a single one, she can make annoying fights easier. Speaker. Speaker does provide trust, 1 mana single target stun, and a 600% multiplier on hers too. Overall, she has what it takes to be a solid bruiser and performs admirably in special dungeons. Gutir. Fire struggles with CC, and this is where Gutir comes into place. Same as Speaker, he has a single mana stun ability and a whopping 840% multiplier. Unfortunately, he won't hit that hard because his attack is fairly low, but amongst defenders, nobody hits harder. Luke. Luke is a weaker version of Dagus. He also has a share health and provoke, but only a single target stun ability. Nonetheless, especially in fire, he can be the key to beat PvE content. Phrygia. Having to compare to Firis is not easy. Unfortunately, Phrygia doesn't fare well. Back row reflect is a mediocre gimmick since you can't direct the enemy's target. 4 mana single target stuns are too pricey to be worth it. Alexei. Same as with Phrygia, low damage and high mana cost for CC abilities make him weak. Pitbull. The lowest rated hero in the game, and for a good reason. He has only 96% on his back row only S1 and a 3 mana single target stun. Don't worry about him. Hawkeye. Decent in this category. Share health, 1 mana single target stun and 420% multiplier. Nika. Another very weak defender. Even rares like Murti and Glenn can outshine her. In the scenarios she is used in, she won't be able to make much use of her AoE, thus being reduced to a single target CC. Lungen does a better job on that front. And there you have it. Quick and easy, hopefully insightful. If you like this content, consider subscribing as it helps me out a lot. Leave a like and let me know in the comments what you think about the defenders. In my opinion, as long as the game doesn't implement damage based on defense, we won't see much change here outside of potential buffs. But what do you think? As always, it was a pleasure to have you here, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, enjoy the grind.